For the couple of you that have not done this class before, it is a core class, but it's a very integrated approach to core. So, you know, and our core, not just addressing the front core, it's a lot of the back core in this program. So just to kind of give you a sense of, you know, what to expect for those of you new. All right, let's get going. It's 10:02. I'm going to mute you guys. So the setup is a warm-up that gets your body moving. It uses a lot of the exercises that we'll use in our workout. And then we'll have our workout. And then I have a mobility section at the end just to help cool down and stretch out just a little bit. So there's just a few exercises at the end for that, okay? All right. The warm-up is 6 exercises. Each exercise will complete for 30 seconds, no rest between. We'll just kind of move through it. And we'll do that twice through, okay? So since we have 2 new people, Deborah, this will be kind of review for you. I'm just gonna go through all 6 of the warm-up exercises. You do them with me and kind of dial them in, make sure you feel comfortable doing them. I'll unmute it after we do this, just if you need any modifications or feedback on things. I love that I can see you guys. I can see all of you pretty well, so that's awesome. It gives me the chance to give good feedback. Let me make sure I'm the spotlight so you can see me nice and big. There we go. Okay, so the first exercise, doing this with me, is just a side lunge. Stepping to the side, lunging into that stepping leg, shifting the hip back, belly stays in long through the torso, drive through the heel, back to center, switch sides. So on these guys, you just want to make sure that you're leading back with the hip, you've got your belly in, and your spine is nice and long, okay? Side to side. Now, you can intensify this eventually by picking up a little bit of speed, maybe even a little shuffle and a hand reach. If you wanted to keep it slow but still have it intensify through the workout, you can add a little bit of weight to your chest. So that's an option as we get through. Okay, you guys all look good, making sure that that hip is driving back, right? And just finding that nice rhythm. Okay, those are the side lunges. Mountain climbers, you guys have all probably done mountain climbers. If you need to modify this, a chair, lifting yourself up on your chair will help take some of the body weight out. But a mountain climber, plank position. Set up your plank position, pulling your shoulders down the back, pulling your low belly in, and then driving one knee at a time. Obviously, to intensify this, you can get into that nice fast rhythm, okay? The idea here is that your hips are not going up and down. The hips stay nice and steady. That's going to be really stabilized through the core, okay? Mountain climbers, everybody good on those? Looks good, okay. Next one, we're staying on the mat, scorpion bridges. If you have a hard floor, something soft under the shoulders is nice on this. So it's a bridge, it's a bridging motion with a little bit of a twist. So set yourself up for a bridge, drive through the heels, lift the hips up off the ground. As the hips come up, you're reaching across at a 45 angle and then coming back down, switching sides. So lifting up with the hips as you reach across the body. When your hips come down, give the heels a little pull in. You'll feel your hamstrings, but it'll also keep you in a nice footprint on the ground. Keep going side to side. I'm just gonna take a look because I can see you guys. Good, make sure your hips really come up into that bridge. You wanna feel your glutes and your hamstrings through this. Good, that's great. Those are your scorpion bridges. Okay, next one, up on your feet. It's a transverse squat. So think of yourself on a clock, open up to 3 o'clock. So you're rotating your body, grounding both your feet, squat. Knees will go out wide. As you come up, come back to center. Open up to 9 o'clock, squat, back up to center. Now here you can add a little bit of speed. Make sure though, when you're adding speed, you get that rotational manner of the squat, okay? And through the workout, when we come here, you can add a little bit of weight to the chest to make this a little bit more challenging. So side to side, keep going. Let me just check you out. Opening up those hips from side to side. Good, you guys look great. Okay, next one, side plank drivers. So as the name suggests, you're on your side, on your elbow. Option one, knee down. If you've got your knee down, you're creating a nice long line from your foot all the way through the crown of the head. Notice shoulders push down away from the ears. So this makes it a little bit more accessible. If you'd like to intensify it, you're going to take that bottom leg up off the ground, stagger the top leg right behind your bottom leg, and here's where we begin. Reaching 45, letting that top hip rotate a bit, pull back to center. Keep the hips up, reach, pull back to center. Reach, pull back to center. Always keeping those hips up as you do so. Keep going, a few more on this side. Yes, good, let's try the other side now. So switch sides, bring the other elbow down onto the side, set yourself up. Top leg is staggered back if you've got both legs up off the ground. Keep those hips up. As you reach, let that top hip roll to the front and then pull it back to center. Good, always know that you can drop that bottom leg. Good, those look great. Those are the side plank drivers. Last one, this one is really just about prepping your body for movement. It doesn't need to go fast. You start on the ground, sort of that superwoman position, okay? You're gonna start by arm out to the side. Knee bends, anchor the knee, open up the chest. And then reverse out of that, just as you went in, and switch sides. Arm, knee, open. And just so I'm finding a little bit of fluidity, let's do one more on either side. This is just a chance to check out the exercise. We're gonna put it into our warm up in a moment. Okay, so arm, knee, open up, and then reverse out. Torso rolls. Okay. Everybody do okay with those? It looked like it from what I could see. We all good? Thumbs up? Okay. All right. So let's start the warm up. Okay. We're going to start in 10 seconds. We're going to do 30 seconds of lateral lunges. Okay. So that's that stepping from side to side. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Get that side to side, driving back with the hip, keeping the belly in. You can add a reach. If you're already feeling pretty warmed up, I know Peg, you went out on a hike. Maybe you're ready to add that hop in, or maybe not. Okay, so just know that's available for you when you're ready to kind of amp it up a little bit, get your heart rate up. We've got 10 more seconds here. And we're going to mountain climbers next. 5 seconds, side to side. All right, coming down, there's no rest between these guys. Finding your plank, shoulders down the back, belly pulled in, driving those knees forward. One at a time. This is warm up, first round. So no need to push your pace unless you're really ready for it. We've got 12 seconds here. And then we're gonna come onto our back for scorpion bridges. Keep that belly pulled in, shoulders down the back. All right, here we go, on our back. Coming up into that bridge with that rotation of the upper body. Really get that bridging motion, and then feel out that range of motion. Okay, really kind of thinking about pulling those heels towards your body as you come down with the hips. Side to side. 5 more seconds here, and then we're up on our feet. Remember, trying to make those transitions nice and quick. Here we go. Up on our feet, transverse lunges, or transverse squats. Open up, 3 o'clock, squat it down. 9 o'clock, squat it down. Back and forth, making sure you're getting those hips to open up. Knees are tracking over the feet. 10 more seconds here. And then we have side plank drivers. We're only doing half of the time on the right, half of the time on the left. All right, here we go. Set it up. That half time really goes fast. Side plank drivers driving with the hand, maintaining that shoulder away from the ear and the hips up. All right, switch sides, trying to find that nice fluid transition. We have torso rolls next, so we'll be staying on the ground. Reach and pull here. All right, stay on the ground. Find that superwoman position. Arm, knee, open. Reverse out. Remember, you don't have to go fast here. Just prepping our body for the movement. We're ready to be in our exercise workout here. 10 seconds, and then we go through all of those exercises one more time. Lateral lunges are next. All right, back up on our feet. Lateral lunges. If you're feeling good and you want to add that little hop, great. Good, you guys are looking great. We are halfway through this 30 seconds. Keep that belly in tight, long spine from side to side, driving back with the hip. 5 more seconds here, and then we come down for mountain climbers. All right, mountain climbers. Setting up that plank, driving those knees forward. Create a little bit of rounding through the upper back so that you're not collapsing into the shoulders. Keep going here, you got 15 more seconds. Nice, Deborah, good pace. LA, I like it. Try not to hang your head though. Keep your head up in line with your spine. There you go, good. 5 seconds here. We're staying on the mat for scorpion bridges. Here we go, on the mat, setting up for bridges, lifting and reaching. Pulling back with the heels as you come down, back and forth. We're up on our feet after this. Squeeze those glutes at the top. All right, keep yourself honest. 5 seconds. Transverse squats are now up off the ground. Finding that rotational manner of your squat pattern. Make sure both feet are equally weighted when you squat. And then keep that torso up and belly pulled in, especially at the lowest point of your squat. 10 seconds here, keep going. We've got side planks next. Nice. You guys have really good quality of movement. All right, side plank drivers. Remember, only 15 seconds each side. If both legs are lifted, that top leg is anchored behind the right. Reach and roll. Couple more seconds here. All right, find that transition nice and smooth and quickly to the other side. We have the torso rolls next, and that will finish out our warm-up. All right, on the belly. Superwoman, arm, knee, open, reverse out. Arm, knee, open, reverse out. Keep going, nice and smooth. You've got 10 more seconds. And this is going to finish up our warm up here. Last few seconds here and done. Good. Coming up off the mat. Okay, hopefully you're warmed up. Your body is nice and warm. Your joints have all moved. And we're ready for the workout. Okay, I'm just finding my timer. And then I'll explain what we're doing. Right, there it is. Okay. Okay, I have 4 sets of 3 exercises, okay? Each set has different exercises, but the formula for each set will be the same. It will be 40 seconds of work, 2 times through those 3 exercises. No extra rest, so just like our warm-up, the transitions will be need to be quick. You'll kind of, get those transitions in after a while. We'll go through all 4 sets of exercises, You'll get a little bit extra rest, and then we'll do it again, okay? So the first 3 exercises, we are doing our transverse squat, which we did in our warm-up, that opening up and dropping down. You can add weight at your chest if you're wanting to, okay? We've got prone twists, which have not been, it's not in our warm-up. If you've done other workouts, it's been in other workouts. Prone twists, you start in this tabletop position, tuck the back toes and lift the knees to a hover, okay? And then you're gonna let your hips drop from side to side. And as you come through center, really try to keep those knees low to the ground. And think of the hips dropping, not the knees moving, right? The hips are driving the movement. And then you always want to maintain that shoulder retraction down the back as you go from side to side. These ones, you're going to get way more out of it if you go slow, okay? If you pick up momentum, you lose a little bit of the muscle that is required for that. That's the second exercise. And then the third is the scorpion bridges. Those were in the warm-up. This time, if you want to add little small weights to your hands as you drive up and across your body, you can do that, okay? So we've got 40 seconds, each exercise, twice through, no extra rest, okay? Starting with the transverse squat. If you have extra weight and you want to add it to your chest, go ahead and grab that. Thumbs up, we all ready? Okay, starting in 10. If you've got weight, it's right at your chest. Take your range of motion and your speed slow here. All right, here we go. Opening up and back, opening up. Keep going. Back and forth, keeping that torso upright. That belly is pulled in. Keep going. I just have my timers on the wrong thing. You keep going. I'm keeping track. Don't worry. You've got less than halfway here. Keep it going. Side to side. All right, transitioning now to our prone twist. That's on all fours. And you're gonna let those hips go side to side. All right, now my timer's on. All right, here we are. Letting the hips fall one side. Coming through center, letting the knees just graze the ground. The other side. Pull the shoulders down the back and really think of using your obliques, those twisting muscles in your core, to get your hips to go from side to side with control and fluidity. We are 16 seconds more in this round here, 10 more seconds. And then we're coming into those scorpion bridges. We can add weight to our hands if you like. Side to side. Okay, here we go, scorpion bridges. I'm gonna add 5 pounds to my hands. Getting into that scorpion bridge, nice and quickly, side to side, keep going. Make sure you're really squeezing those glutes at the top and you're pulling your heels towards your body as you come down. We have 18 seconds here. And then we're gonna go through those one more time. The trans squats are next, with a weight or without a weight. We've got 6 seconds here, lifting and lowering. Control the movement. Up on your feet, grab the weight, trans squats. Opening up, squatting down, keeping that belly pulled in, using the glutes to come out of that squat. Halfway. We get 30 seconds rest after this round. Prone twists are next. Those are the tabletop hips drive from side to side. 5 seconds. All right, transition quickly. Prone twists. Hover those knees, drop the hips, control through center to the other side. Shoulders down the back. Remember, if you ever need a reset, just set your knees down, take a breath, and get right back into it. Side to side. We've got scorpion bridges next in about 10 seconds. All right, here we go. Scorpion bridges. 30 seconds rest after this. Lifting those hips, pulling those heels towards the shoulders as you come down. If you can control the movement and the form, add a little speed here. You got 15 seconds. Lift those hips, pull those heels back. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds rest. And as you kind of catch your breath or grab a drink or whatever it is you need to do, I'm going to go over the next 3 exercises. Okay, lateral lunges, which we also did in our warm-up. Yeah, so lateral lunges here. Okay. Extensions, hip extensions. We did not do those in the warm-up, so take a look. You're in a seated position, both feet flat on the ground, anchoring one hand behind the hip. The free arm is elbow between the knees. This is kind of like a scorpion bridge, but coming up all the way, reaching across. You stay on one side. We'll do half the time on one side, half the time on the other. Really protect that shoulder by keeping the shoulder away from the ear. So don't let that shoulder creep up. Really keep pressure down onto your hand there. And then you have bridge steps, which is, as the name suggests, a bridge. You stay up in your bridge, palms are up, and then you're just taking some steps. Okay, now if that feels like too much, you can come light into one foot at a time. The goal here is to keep your hips high and to keep them level, so don't let them kind of rock back and forth as you lift a foot. Okay, all right, our 30 seconds has come and gone. We are starting with lateral lunges. All right, this is the time to maybe add some weight or some speed. Here we go, ready? Lateral lunges, back and forth. Kind of starting to think about working your edge, right? Kind of finding that little bit uncomfortable zone as we move through the meat and potatoes of our workout. We're halfway through this, and then we have our extensions, hip extensions, where we sit down on the ground and we lift our hips and reach across our body. 10 seconds. We're going through all 3 of these 2 times, just as before. All right, hip extensions. One hand anchors behind the hip, feet on the ground, lift the hips, reach. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Protect your shoulder by keeping it away from the ears. We've got about 6 seconds before we switch sides. Switch sides, keep going. Lift and reach. Keep that shoulder away from the ear as you lift. Nice. 5 more seconds here, and then we have those bridge steps. All right, here we go. Lay down on your back, palms up, lift the hips, and then lift 1 foot at a time. Now, if you feel pretty strong lifting 1 foot, lift it and like hold it for a second, right? Increase that time under tension for that one side. Side to side, or you're just coming light, like a toe tap into 1 foot if it feels like too much to lift. Keep that low belly in and those hips up high as we finish this round in 6 seconds. We're back up on our feet for lateral lunges. All right, here we go. Making that transition as quick as possible. Side to side. Driving back with the hip. Belly stays nice and in. Torso is tall. You can add that reach. I kind of like the reach. You play around with where you're reaching, a little lower maybe. Adds a little demand on the hip. 15 seconds here. And then we have hip extension. So that's seated. We start in that seated position. 5 more seconds. All right, down on the ground. Plant one hand. Lift up, reach across the body. Protect that shoulder. Get those hips to extend up to the ceiling. Squeeze the glutes at the top. We're going to be switching in 6 seconds. Finish your next one, and then switch sides. Those fingertips on your planted hand are pointed, kind of behind you. So you're externally rotating that planted arm. Good, keep going. Good, bridge steps are next. Lay down, come up into the bridge, and step it out. Remember, you can hover that foot as long as those hips stay high and level. Palms are facing up. Halfway. And this is going to round out our second round. We have 30 seconds rest after this. Lift and lower. Keep those hips up high. Right? Keep yourself honest here. And come on down. You have 30 seconds rest. Grab a drink. I'm going to unmute you. Let's see. Oh, Cheryl. I didn't know Cheryl was here. Grab a drink. Towel off. Catch your breath. We have 3 new exercises coming your way. Cheryl.
Yes.
So for the hip extensions, instead of this, is that what you want to know?
Yes. That
Okay.
hurts my wrist too much.
So instead of that one, do the bridge, the scorpion bridge. So it's the same thing, you're just on your back. So do this one instead when we come back to it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks.
All right. You bet. All right. Next 3 exercises. Here they are. We've got our trans squat again. That's the only one we're repeating. Okay, so you can add the weight or not. It's that opening up, that rotational step of the squat. You've got the side plank drivers. We did those in the warm up. Remembering, you can always drop that knee as long as you've got a nice long line. Okay, and you're dropping that front hip, pulling it back. These are the obliques we're working here, as well as the side core. And then the last one, I think probably most of you will know these by dead bugs. We're calling them toe taps. So palms up, take your core and brace it so your low back is on the ground. Each exhale, you drop a heel. Okay, now these again, they're not going to do you any favors by doing it faster. The way you can make it a little bit more difficult is how far you're reaching with that heel. But if you go out with the heel, that low back better stay plastered to the ground underneath you. Okay, those are toe taps. Same formula, 40 seconds, 2 times through, starting with the transverse squats in 10. All right, grab your weight if you're using it. Weights at the chest. All right, here we go. Opening it up, squatting it down. Making sure those knees are driving over the toes, so they're kind of going out wide into kind of a plie type of motion. Keep that belly in and drive down through the heels to come up to center. This works the inner thigh a little bit more than your normal squat. We're halfway through, over halfway. We have side plank drivers next. Only 20 seconds on either side. All right, coming down onto the mat. Side plank drivers, finding that nice long line. Top leg is staggered back. Reach, pull back. Reach, pull back. Let that top hip roll down. and pull back. Protect that shoulder by pulling it down your back. Make sure the elbow is underneath the shoulder. Switch sides. Nice smooth transition. We have toe taps next, so we stay on the mat here. Keep going. Reaching, pulling it back. All right, here we go. Staying on the ground, laying down, palms up, knees over the hips, low back plastered to the ground, one heel at a time drops. Experimenting with how far you can reach out and also keep your low back on the ground. We have 20 seconds here. So this is finishing out our first round of these 3 exercises. We're gonna come up for our transverse squats one more time. 10 seconds. Really plaster that low back to the ground. That's where you're gonna get the benefit here. Keeping that engagement. All right, up on your feet. Grab the weight. Get right into that movement of transverse squats. Opening up to 3 o'clock and then to 9 o'clock. Keeping that belly in tight. Make sure there's no extra sway in the low back, especially if you're adding weight. We are over halfway now through this 40 seconds. We're gonna be on the mat next, side plank drivers. Five seconds. So remember, we gotta make those transitions really quick. All right, here we go. Getting down onto your side, dropping that lower knee. I'm gonna modify this time so you can see it. That knee is dropped right below my top leg. I still have a nice long line of my spine, and my top hip is still rounding forward as I reach forward. Switch sides. We're staying on the mat. Toe taps or dead bugs are next. And that'll round out our second round of this third group of exercises. All right, on your back, get right into those toe taps. Plaster the low back to the ground as you drop your heel. Think about your belly button being pulled down and into your spine, as well as your rib cage being zipped up. Palms are facing up. Try to let go of any tension you might be holding in the shoulders. That tends to happen. We have 15 more seconds here. And then we have a 30-second break. Almost there. Last one, and flop to the ground. We have one more group of 3 exercises. Grab a drink, come and look at the monitor, and I'll go through them with you. Okay, step lunges, right? So it's just a step, a vertical drop, 90-degree both knees, back to center. So drop, back to center, okay? You can add weight to your chest if you like, or to intensify it, you can make this more of like a scissor jump. But every time I land, I'm landing in that same position that the step lunge does, okay? Belly stays pulled in and your hips stay neutral. That's the first exercise. The second one are scorpion planks. So as the name suggests, you're in a plank position. If you do yoga, you'll notice these is sort of like a plank to 3-leg dog. So you're gonna push your hips up as you raise one leg, keeping your hips square to the ground, back. Here, back and forth. Plank to 3-leg. If you want to intensify, you can add a push-up every now and then. And if you did it every time, it might be a lot. Those are their scorpion planks. And then the last one is just a bridge, straight up bridge. If you wanted to intensify that, you could make it a 1-legged bridge. You do 5 reps on one side and then the other, okay? Okay, let's get going. 10 seconds, we are starting with our step lunges. You can add weight or make it a little bit more of a scissor jump. Those will take your breath away. So always feel free to go back. Okay, here we go. If you're stepping, getting those knees to a 90 degree, driving through that front heel, come back up to center, really thinking about a neutral hip. You want those hips to stay square to the front of you, tailbone and belly, tailbone's down, belly's pulled in, back and forth, always feeling free to go between the two. You have about 10 seconds here, and then we have those scorpion planks. So we'll come into a plank position next, driving one foot up at a time. Okay, here we go. Scorpion planks. Plank, hips up, foot up, square hips. Always find that plank position. You can always add in a push-up, lifting that leg, keeping that belly pulled in, and finding fluidity and control of your movement. 15 seconds, keep going. You have bridges next. Good, lift that hip up with the foot high, good. 5 seconds. Nice, Deborah, I see those push-ups. Yeah, you too, LA, all right. Down onto your back. Lift the hips up and roll the spine down. Really think about scooping the hips up and then rolling it back down all the way to the tailbone. Again, you can do this one-legged. You can keep your hips nice and square. I would do 4 or 5 on one side. Switch. You have 10 seconds. So think about how to make it equal if you're doing one side, one-legged. We're back up on our feet for step lunges. All right, here we go. Adding weight or speed, or just finding that quality of movement between sides. Belly pulls in. You're almost scooping your hips underneath you every time. Good, I like it. You guys look great. We're halfway. And then we have those planks, scorpion planks next. 10 seconds. Woo! My thighs are burning. 4 seconds. Dig deep. Here we go, plank, scorpion planks. Plank, lift, keep the hips square. Don't let those hips open up. Pull the belly in. Make sure those shoulders are pulled down the back, especially as you come into plank. Adding in a push-up every so often. If you're wanting a little bit more. Yes. Nice work, you guys. You have 10 more seconds. Good, I like it. Lift, lift, lift. Good. We're on our back in 3 seconds for bridges. All right, here we go. Lift those hips up. Roll them back down. Scoop them up. Roll them back down. Really finding your glute squeeze at the top. Only adding speed if you can really scoop up and roll back down with that speed. 15 more seconds, and then we get a 60-second break. We're gonna do it all again. So there's nothing new here. We're gonna go through all of those exercises, all those groups of exercises one more time. All right, take a break. You've got 60 seconds. Yep, just stay on the ground for a moment. All right, if that serves you well. Grab a drink. And then we're gonna go through that again. So our first 3 exercises that we started with were the trans squats, the prone twist, that was that tabletop twisting hip motion. And then the scorpion bridges, okay? We've got about 20 seconds left of our rest. You're using weight for your transverse squats. Get prepared. Starting in 10 seconds. All right, adding weight or not, either way, keep that belly in tight as you open up. Here we go. Squat down. You're fully warmed up. We're going through this only one more time. So now's the time to start to dig deep. See if you've got a little bit more to offer, you know. And sometimes that doesn't mean going faster. It means sometimes really controlling the movement or the transition between one part of the exercise and another. 10 seconds here, and then you have the prone twist. All right, coming down onto a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, hover the knees, hips go side to side. Cheryl, I think you could probably do this with a little less range of motion if you were on your elbows, if your wrists are bothering you. Keep those knees low when you come through center. Pull the shoulders down the back and pull that low belly in towards the spine. Nice and slow and controlled. We have step bridges next. No, scorpion bridges. So we'll stay on the mat. Here we go. I'm adding weight. Come onto your back, lift and reach across. Lift and reach across. Don't forget that little pull of the heels towards your body as you come down. And then really make sure you're squeezing those glutes at the top. Really working the back body here. You got weight in your hand. The lats are working a little bit harder to pull that weight back through center. 5 more seconds here. And then we're back on our feet. Trans squats. Here we go. Last time through these through exercises. Getting moving into these transverse squats. Now, if you're getting tired, sometimes the transitions get a little slow. Okay, but try to challenge yourself with making them as fast as possible. Prone twists are next. That's that tabletop position. 14 seconds. Back and forth. Quality of movement, belly pulled in. All right, here we go, onto the ground. Tabletop position, hovering the knees, hips from side to side, slow and controlled. It's great for the obliques, those rotational core muscles, as well as shoulder stability. 16 seconds here. And then we're on our back for scorpion bridges, which will end our first round of 3 exercises. 3 seconds. Keep those knees low. All right, on your back, grabbing your weight if you need it. Getting right into it. Last 40 seconds of scorpion bridges. Making sure you're squeezing those glutes at the top. $15 seconds. Get a 30-second break, and then we move on. 5 more seconds. Make sure you're lifting those hips. All right, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds goes way fast. Lateral lunges, hip extensions, so just remembering those are these guys. Okay, and bridge steps are next. You have 12 seconds, towel off, grab a drink. We are starting with lateral lunges. I'll be adding a little bit of a hop between mine. You can also add weight. All right, lateral lunges, start now. Side to side, people. Yeah. Good, I'm seeing some really good quality of movement here. I like how upright I see your chest. Make sure that belly pulls in, and every time you drive that hip back, it's staying right in line with the knee, so it's not popping way out to the side. Sometimes that happens as we get tired. We're using some stabilization in our outer hip here. All right, next is the hip extensions in 3 seconds. So we start in that seated position. All right, here we go. Anchor one hand, plant the feet, and lift up. Cheryl, here's where you're doing those scorpion bridges we did last round. Okay, and anybody else who might feel that this doesn't work for them. Remember, halfway, we're switching. All right, here we go, switch. Lift those hips, really push those hips up to the ceiling. That's extension. That's why they're called hip extensions. We have bridge steps next. So we're staying on the ground. And here we go, transition. Palms up, lift the hips, keep them up 1 foot at a time. Keep those glutes engaged, hips really pushed up, and hips stay level. Again, you can, kind of toe tap it if you feel like lifting your whole foot brings you out of the bridge or doesn't feel good in your body. We have 10 seconds here. This is finishing up the first round of this group of exercises. We'll be up on our feet. Lateral lunges are next. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Up on the feet. Lateral lunges, getting right into it. Driving those hips back, keeping that belly in. You got this. This is the last time we'll be doing these. So give it what you got. Good, I like that. I like arm lift. Is that LA? I like it. Making it your own, girl. Coming down onto the mat in a seated position in 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, make that transition. Hip extensions, staying on one side for half the time. Lift those hips, reach up and across. Make sure that belly's pulled in. Squeeze the glutes. Almost there for the switch. Finish this next one, and then switch it out to the other side. We're staying on the mat for bridge steps next. All right, lay down, palms up, lift the hips, and step it out. Lift and lower. Every so often, really push those hips up again. They tend to sink a little bit. This is finishing up our second round of these second group of exercises. You have 30 seconds rest after this. Keep those hips up high. 5 more seconds. And done. You can just kind of sink your hips down. Maybe even windshield wiper your knees. That kind of feels good after bridges. And then coming up to your feet when you're ready. We've got the trans squats again in this next group. Side plank drivers, okay? And then those will be half and half of the time. And then we have the toe taps, those dead bugs, okay? All right, our 30 seconds is just about up. You should be up on your feet. We've got trans squats. If you're adding weight, grab it. And here we go, trans squats. Opening up those hips, dropping down, keeping the belly in and the torso high. Use your breath. I like to exhale as I'm coming out of my squat. Keep those shoulders plugged down your back, especially if you've got weight at your chest. You don't want to use those upper traps. They won't like that later. We've got 13 seconds here. Side plank drivers are next. And remember, it's only a 20 seconds on either side, so we'll get right into it. All right, here we go. Coming down onto the side, setting yourself up, and driving that hand across the body, 45-degree angle, and pulling back up to center. But keep that shoulder away from the ear. This is a lot of shoulder stability. Switch sides. We've got our bridge steps next. No, toe taps. Like, I feel like we've already done those. Toe taps are next. All right, here we go. Laying down on the back, palms facing up, knees over the hips, low back is plastered to the ground. If you were here in my garage, I'd come and stick my hand underneath your low back, and I would expect to not be able to put my hand under your low back. So that's how much I want your low back to the ground. We got 13 seconds here, and then we're coming back onto our feet, grabbing our weight, transverse squats. 5 seconds. Lower that low back to the ground, squeeze that belly, and up to the ground, grab your weight. Get right into that trans squat. Last time here. Finding quality of movement, but also maybe challenging your edge. However that may be, maybe in speed, maybe adding weight, maybe controlling the movement more. 10 seconds. And then we're on the ground, side plank drivers. All right, side plank drivers. You can always drop that bottom knee. Wherever you are, you should have a nice long line from the foot to the crown of the head. Maintaining that shoulder down the back. Couple more seconds here on this side. Switch. Top leg is back. You've got both legs up. And then we have toe taps next. Three seconds. All right, lay it down. Palms up, knees over the hips, low back flattening to the ground. The core is braced as you drop one heel at a time. Now, if you start to extend that foot out and your low back starts to pop up, probably too far. You want to make sure that that core is really braced. Low back is really sandwiched to the ground underneath you. We've got 7 seconds, and this is going to end our second round of third exercises. All right, there we go. One more group, and then we have some mobility. Okay, so just to remember, this is stepping lunge. All right, you can add weight or a scissor kick to that. We have scorpion planks. That's the plank into the three-leg dog. You can always add push-ups into that. And then we just have your typical bridge. You can always do a one-legged bridge. We have 3 seconds. We are on our feet, ready to go for our step lunges. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So stepping, getting that 90 degree with the knees. If you're wanting to do a little bit more of a scissor kick and increase your heart rate, scissor kick it. You should always be landing in that same position if you were stepping though. Those hips are staying square to the front of you. That belly is pulled in and the chest is upright. 10 seconds. And then we've got scorpion planks. Adding push-ups if you'd like. All right, got weight, put it down. Find plank. Dial the plank in, hips up, lift a leg. Back to plank. Adding in a push-up. If you're doing the push-up, try to keep your whole body as a full plank, lowering it. at the same rate, so hips aren't dropping more than the chest. Keep those hips square as you lift the leg. We've got 10 seconds. And then we have bridges. Really come forward into that plank, almost there. All right, on your back, palms up, scoop the hips up, roll the spine up, squeeze the glutes, and roll it back down. Find that full squeeze at the top. All the way up and down. Only add speed if you can really scoop it up and roll it down with that speed, which is actually quite hard to do. 10 seconds. And then we're back up on our feet. Step lunges are next. Last little bit here. All right, 3 more rounds of 40 seconds work up on our feet. This is it. All right, don't lose form, but definitely push your edge. Nice job, you guys. Halfway. All righty. He's always got me. 10 seconds. And then we have scorpion planks. 5 seconds. Woo! Oh my gosh. All right. Scorpion planks. Find plank. Lift the leg. Come back in to plank. Adding in a push-up if you like. "18 seconds, people. Keep it going. Keep that belly pulled in as you move through plank to 3-legged dog. We've got 6 seconds. And then bridges. All right, last 40 seconds here. Bridges. Scoop the hips up and then roll back down. That you're squeezing fully through the top with the glutes. Finding intention and control through your movement. Over halfway. Ten more seconds. 5. Make sure you're squeezing at the top, even for these last few. All righty, there's the bell. Breathe. Maybe be still for a second. But then come up off the ground, grab a drink. We've just got a mobility exercise next so that we can sort of naturally bring our heart rate down. A little bit of stretching, won't take long. Always lose people here on the stretching. That's okay. Okay, last little bit. All right, this is for our hamstrings. Right leg's gonna step back, shift your hips back, right leg's gonna bend as you take your right hand and reach across the body to the left foot. And then you'll come back up to standing, step back with the left foot, bend the left knee, right leg stays straight, left hand, right foot, back up. I find these a little bit easier, just finding a rhythm, stepping forward, stepping back, getting that reach. You should feel this in the hamstrings and like across the hip a little bit with that reach. That reach kind of gets the hip a bit. Keep going, a few more on either side. One more each side. All right, this one, just a knee hug. Pull that knee in, hug it in, drop it down. Switch sides. Hug it in, drop it down. Every time you hug that knee in, the opposite side glute kind of pulls forward. So you get a little hip extension. Oh, LA, we didn't lose you. Yay, welcome back. This little stretching here, you feel, a little bit of a stretch in the groin, compression through that hip you're pulling in. do one more each side. Our next one will be on the mat. So we're coming down on the ground, sitting down, and then let your hands come behind your hips just so that you can kind of recline a little bit through the torso, but keep a nice long spine. Both feet flat on the ground and open them up almost as wide as shoulder, okay? Let your knees fall to the right. Now, when your knees fall to the right, the tendency is that left hip wants to come up. Like if I put my knees all the way to the ground, that left hip is coming up off the mat. So what I want you to do is when your knees fall to the right, try to push that left hip to the ground. Whether it's, you know, if it comes up off the mat, it's okay. I just want you to create that action there. And that'll stretch the hip joint more than the low back, okay? Switch sides, let the knees fall to the left. Create that anchoring, action of anchoring that right hip. And then I'm just gonna let you kind of move from side to side at your own pace. I'm feeling this out as you move from side to side. And this stretch does like kind of inch you across the floor a little bit. So that's happening. You're probably doing it right. A few more. I really love these. These feel so good on my hips. All right. Last one. I'm gonna have a little extra padding under my knee because we're coming into a half kneeling position. So start with the left knee down and then the right foot forward, okay, and then coming upright. So you're kind of in a low lunge position. And then take that front foot and inch it a little bit forward of the knee, okay? Square the hips up, so right hip pulls back, left hip pushes forward. Take the tailbone, stretch it down, pull the belly in, and then inhale, raise the arms up overhead as you shift your weight forward just a little bit. So this is going after the hip flexor on that left front of the leg. Now I want you to grab your left wrist with your right hand and lean to the right. As you lean to the right, your left hip pushes out to the left. So you're getting a side body stretch here, cross the hip into the IT band. Keep the belly pulled in and the weight shifted forward. Come back up to center with the hands, release the arms down, and then switch sides, however that works for you. You gotta put your hands down to do that, that's fine. And now the left leg is forward, right knee is down, inch that left foot forward just a bit, and then square the hips, tailbone down, belly pulled in, inhale the arms up as you shift the weight forward. And then grab the right wrist with the left hand, lean to the left, and as you lean to the left, create that action of the right hip pushing out to the right. Try to keep that chest rotated a little bit more up than down. And then don't forget about that belly, pull it in. Slowly releasing and coming back up to standing. And we're done-zo. Nice job, ladies. Thanks for coming today. Nice to have you all.